Good evening, guys. First and foremost, let's pay tribute to the England players for a magnificent performance against Senegal. Although the first 25 minutes wasn't particularly great, bit of a struggle, and in fact, they probably had the best opportunity. Good save by Pickford, but it was two goals in quick succession once again. And you have to say that trio in the midfield is just incredible. When I hear some of our supporters criticise the likes of Declan Rice, and I know he plays for another team, but he once was our player. But I watch him quite intensively, and the way he steps off, he's always there. He reads the game perfectly. He's an absolute class act, and if we've got any aspirations of turning us into a team that can compete at the highest level, in particular the Premier League, we need him. Let's make no qualms about it. He is an absolute quality player, and Jude Bellingham is another one. Although Liverpool seem to think that they've got their man, and he's likely to go to Anfield. Let's hope not. Let's hope Manchester City don't grab him and Declan Rice, because trust me, with Foden, it's absolute and utter game over. But well done to England, and of course they play France on Saturday night. What a game that's going to be. I think there's quite a lot of people that are writing us off because of Kylian Mbappe and the fact that they have got quality players and they're the current World Cup holders. But I think we've got a chance, we really do, with that midfield. If we stick to the same side and we use our strengths, which is the width that we provide and the fact that we can we're quick, in transition, and when we're pushed up high, I'll just say we have a go at them. Don't stand off them. Let's go toe to toe with them, because I really do think it's that type of game. I think it's the game where it's the team that's going to be prepared to take the risks. We know we've been pretty decent at the back. I think if we flip over the two centre backs, have the two City boys down the left hand side, and hopefully take care of Kylian Mbappe. As we know, Walker, it was absolutely superb, for Kyle Walker for Manchester City when they played Paris Saint-Germain, and in particular Mbappe. He's a quick lad, so hopefully he'll be a really, and as I say, if we have John Stones on that side of the pitch, where they're kind of used to playing with each other, comfortable, and put Maguire on the other side. That's no disrespect to Harry Maguire. I think he's had a great World Cup, to tell the truth. But I just think with our midfield and Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, I just think we've got all the chances in the world of winning this game. If you was to put their players and our players, made up an 11 of the best players, I think it'd be pretty close. I really, really do. And we've got a chance. If we get through that, with Spain out now, chances are we're likely to play Portugal. Although Morocco have got through, but I think you'd have to fancy the Portuguese. So get past this, and then we got the Portuguese, and then I guess it's the winner of Brazil-Argentina. But we'll have to wait and see. So I have to say it's catching me now. I'm quite excited, looking forward to the game on Saturday, I have to say. And I didn't think it'd do that, to be fair. But we got a chance. We really have got a chance. We're getting better and better throughout this tournament. And good luck to England. Right, now I just want to have a quick chat about the stadium. There's quite a lot out there, and I'll read some extracts that have been in the news in the last 24 hours. This is quite a lot of reports in many of the journals out there. Chelsea will not be leaving Stamford Bridge, with the owners committing to a huge development of their current stadium instead of finding a new home. Well, I didn't think we'd be moving anyway. There's been a lot of talk at Chelsea of trying to improve Stamford Bridge, which is difficult in its location, but it's seen as necessary as the capacity is just under 42,000, some way below their rivals at the top of the Premier League. Plans to move to a new stadium elsewhere have been explored, with a location in Earls Court a possibility, but they've now put that to rest. Well, I think it was always seen as being too small anyway, and I don't think they'd get the backing of the Chelsea pitch owners. The consortium which took over the ownership of the Blues earlier this year has committed to a huge redevelopment of Stamford Bridge, and although we don't know the details of these plans, it does mean that a move won't be happening anytime soon. Well, that's really good, and doing it stage by stage means we won't have to move elsewhere. The thought of Wembley for 3 or 4 seasons, just, I don't even know if I'll go. I can't stand the whole Wembley experience. I like the fact when we're there, because invariably we're in a final, but I just hate the whole Wembley experience. I really do. Chelsea pitch owners, the shareholder group that owns the stadium freehold, said the new owners have committed to redevelopment of the stadium, so it is anticipated the group's workload will increase as this project begins to take shape. Just last month, the Daily Mail reported that the Earls Court site was being discussed again, having first been brought up under Roman Abramovich's regime in 2013. A 60,000 seat stadium was planned, but the local council dismissed plans originally. The club is in an unusual position of Chelsea pitch owners owning the freehold with a 180-year-old lease without their permission. If Chelsea were to leave Stamford Bridge, then they would have to change the club's name from Chelseafc. Well, it's quite unique, you have to say, and I'm rather glad that we have that. And Ken Bates, our previous owner, before Roman, his birthday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and you know, what he done there was quite brilliant when you think about it. We're the only club in that particular position in this country. It's quite a normal set of circumstances in places like Germany, etc., where supporters have very much a say in how the club's being run. And it was rather interesting today. I don't know if you watched on Talk Radio, Talk Sport, and Simon Jordan. He was taking a phone in from one of the Manchester United supporters clubs, and saying that there's over 80 of them, and they're all saying that they must have input into the new owners of Manchester United and everything else. And Simon Jordan was basically saying, look, are you fucking for real, mate? Anyone's going to make a £6 billion commitment is certainly not going to have you on the board. But this guy was adamant, and it just goes to show, doesn't it? You know, we have what others want, you know, and it's interesting right now where all of a sudden now these Saudi investors are looking to not just at Manchester United but at Liverpool too, where it was all kind of like, you know, everyone was throwing stones our way when that was possibly on the table, when obviously everyone was kind of bidding and putting their portfolios in order to buy the club. You know, people weren't too keen about it then. And of course they were throwing stones our way. We were the leopards, weren't we? You know, because we were bankrolled by a Russian billionaire, like, you know, and we know what happens, and it's just scandalous. People forget, don't they? You know, they really do. So it seems then, guys, that obviously they're going to redevelop the stadium. Now, whether that's the same look as what they had before, I really don't know. I can't personally see it that way, because it means that the whole thing has to be flattened. So I can't really see that. It's quite, let me just read this, guys. Chelsea billionaire American owner Todd Boehly commits to massive redevelopment of Stamford Bridge as the Blues abandon plans to move away from the historical home to a new 60,000 seater in Earls Court. But Todd Bowley's committed to Stamford Bridge redevelopment. There were talks of a move, blah, blah, blah. The co-owner, Jonathan Goldstein, also previously confirmed the redevelopment. Pretty much the same sort of stuff, really. So there you go, guys. The American businessman has now promised the stadium freeholder that he will be expanding Stamford Bridge as opposed to leaving, and the shareholder group who owns London clubs stadium freehold, Chelsea pitch owner, said the new owners have committed, blah blah blah. So it's anticipated that the group's workload will increase as the project begins to take shape. I don't really know how they're going to do it, to tell you the truth, guys, because you know, of the acreage and the fact that we will have to buy additional land in order to do what we set out to do. And I can't see it actually being the same shape as what it was before. I really don't know how they're going to do it, because I know there's height restrictions, and of course, like I said before, it's the access points that cause the most headaches. So, you know, I suppose watch this space on that one. It's interesting here. Chelsea Stamford Bridge and move plans, stadium block beginning process and bizarre name situation. Stamford Bridge has been the home of Chelsea Football Club since 1905, but the London club could be moving to a new stadium, reports suggest. So this one's basically saying the complete opposite, but I think I trust, obviously, where it's coming from, like, i.e. the CPO. And I guess one of the ways, I suppose, to get extra revenue in would be renaming the stadium. So will they change the name Stamford Bridge? I really don't know. But well, there you go, guys. 2022. Apparently they're going to start in 2022. So yeah, so I believe that's the timeline. So looks like that's happening. The other thing, obviously, guys, is obviously Raheem Sterling. He's had to come home because of what happened to his family. Absolutely unbelievable, that is. You can't imagine what he was going through in that long old flight home, to have your house raided by masked raiders whilst your family are inside the property. You can't imagine it, really, you know. So it's times like this that football is irrelevant, completely irrelevant, and I suspect England won't see him, and why should they, you know, because your family's more important. As it goes, and I'm not being facetious when I say that, but I do think we are better without the Chelsea boys in the team. That's not to say that they're crap and they can't do a job, they're not great. That's also not to say that Mason Mount's not a great player either. I just think the way Gareth Southgate's kind of, I'm not saying stumbled on it, but he's got those players now in position where I honestly feel we've got a real chance, you know. We've got some absolute class. Bellingham is such a class act, Foden, class act, and of course Declan Rice. And I do think Henderson kind of complements it perfectly, like, you know, that experience and that and everything else. But apart from that, guys, not much really in terms of Chelsea news. Let me just have a quick butchers. Just see. Let's have a look, guys, and see if there's any other news like regarding Chelsea. What do you think about the stadium then, guys? You know, how do you think it's going to look? What would you do? We all know the East Stand's the oldest part of the ground. The West Stand's a nice stand, to be fair, but, you know, in terms of increasing capacity, I guess they'd have to change the whole thing, you know, and go step by step. It's a shame, really, about the hotels as well, because I do think that's an integral part of our stadium. You know, I do like to watch away fans when they turn up, especially some of the lower clubs when they come down and you know, experiencing it for the first time. But I do like to watch people's reactions, because when you swing round and you see the hotels and, you know, the restaurants and everything else. It does look the biz, you know, Chelsea, and it is a unique looking stadium close to the pitch. It's a rarity, like, you know, Evening Standard. Chelseafc news, 78 million. Josko Gvardiol battle. Kingsley Coman latest, and Joao Felix price tag revealed. Graham Potter is expected to be backed in the January transfer window despite a stuttering start to life at Chelsea. Yeah, you say that again. Co-owners Todd Bowley and Clearlake Capital have already spent big on overhauling the squad, undertaking a record-breaking summer in the transfer market. They will continue to make money available for further reinforcements. Josko Gvardiol, the Croatian international, has previously been of interest to Chelsea, who were keen to push through a deal over the course of the summer. After a series of excellent performances in the World Cup, the battle to sign the defender has intensified. Reports in Spain suggest Real Madrid could make a £78 million offer for the RB Leipzig star, while Manchester City are also believed to be keen. Madrid have also beaten Chelsea to the sign of Brazilian youngster Endrick and could wreck their plans again. Kingsley Coman, while the club are thought to be closing on a summer deal on Gvardiol's teammate Christopher Nkunku, Chelsea are reported to keen on another French attacker. According to French outlet Sport, the Blues could offer Christian Pulisic in part exchange for the Bayern Munich star, with Rafael Leo reportedly in talks with AC Milan over a new deal. Coman is looking like a viable alternative, and Joao Felix, when a player as high profile as Joao Felix reportedly becomes available, clubs like Chelsea are always going to be linked. Seemingly unhappy with life at Atletico Madrid, the Portuguese star is proving his class at the World Cup. Standard Sport understands that Atletico have placed an £86 million, that's €100 million, price tag on the former Benfica forward, although Chelsea would first have to move on the likes of Christian Pulisic and Hakim Ziyech, who's having a tremendous World Cup, isn't he? You know, it's quite revealing, isn't it? Really, you know. Anything else, guys? Right now the girls are. It's actually going into injury time as we speak. I think it's 1-1. I think they only needed a draw actually to qualify. I think it's 1-1 at the moment. Some quick butch. Yeah, it's 1-1 at the moment. Our goal was an own goal. They took the lead on the 36th minute, and it's 1-1. And right now they're into injury time. Sam Kerr at the bar. There's a Berger mistake. Wrighton penalty, hits the post. Bless her. I absolutely love the girls, you know what I mean? They're absolutely tremendous. I really, really, really do rate them. Let's have a little read of this. Former Chelsea midfielder Ramirez says Arsenal star Gabriel Martinelli can join the club on another level than the Gunners. Former Chelsea star Ramirez believes it is only a matter of time before Real Madrid try to sign Gabriel Martinelli. It's just there's always another level above Arsenal. Go on, so it's suggesting that we should get involved. His former countryman says a tremendous season for the Gunners and believes it's only natural for him to think big. Bit of a fucking dig, isn't it, really? Do you know what I mean? I miss old Ramirez. That goal he scored, man, in the new camp. You know, there's a lot of emphasis, weren't there, on Torres that night. You know, but yeah, what a goal. I mean, that was a massive goal, wasn't it, on the stroke of half time. Let's have a quick look. Last one, guys. Chelsea turn attention to Borussia Dortmund star following Endrick transfer disappointment. Chelsea were interested in signing Palmeiras star Endrick, who's set to join Real Madrid. Following disappointment, missing out on the hot prospect Endrick, Chelsea have turned their attentions to signing Borussia Dortmund star Mustafa Moukoko the forward is out of contract at the end of the season and is yet to put pen to an extension at Signal Iduna Park. Since Tom Bowley's arrival at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea's transfer vision has changed significantly. The club have been taking a deeper interest in signing players for the future. Yeah, so there you go, guys. You know, good also to know that travelling out to Abu Dhabi, and United Emirates. We'll be playing Aston Villa out there. We have N'Golo Kante, Wesley Fofana, and Reece James. Ben Chilwell hasn't travelled, but he is in training and he is getting a bit stronger. Which is fantastic news. Let's have it right. You know, you take 4 first team players out of any team, they're going to suffer, like, you know. Anyway, guys, that's about it. Let us know what you think about the stadium. What do you think it's going to look like? Are you happy we're not going to move away? Did you think it was ever going to happen? Are you happy that it's going to be stand by stand and we're not going to have to entertain going and watch them at Wembley? Do you like Wembley? What do you think about this game in United Emirates, if I can bloody pronounce it? And England. What do you think? Are we going to reach the semi-finals? Why not? Eh? And I'm sure you've got plenty to say regarding Raheem Sterling and those players that are linked with us right now, guys. What do you think about that? Let us know in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Up the Chels. Much love. Laters.